Welcome everyone, I've just gotten access to Steam Next Fest Deathbound by Ironforge Studios. This is a brand new dark medieval Dark Souls game that you need to keep an eye on because in the future, in the next year or two, this could be a huge game for the Dark Souls community and games like it of all kinds. This game is a medieval based game based around dark fantasy. We're going to use Souls-like combat to fight all kinds of enemies, bosses, and at a fairly significant difficulty. Deathbound is extremely entertaining, although it's very early in its early access stage, because it allows you for a wide array of character customization and combat ability. Even though the game's early on in its development, it holds a very unique gameplay loop that not many other games have had at all. You have the ability to level up your character and other characters, and you will actually obtain other characters that you can use throughout the game. The Souls-like gameplay is based on the ability to be able to swap between multiple characters in order to fight the enemies that you're going to find throughout the world of Deathbound, meaning you can fight as a mage. Once your health gets low, you can swap over to another type of character, such as an assassin with a crossbow, or a Templar, or a knight, or wherever you essentially have characters that are unlocked. As you make your way throughout Deathbound, you're going to find essences of different characters, where you will then be able to swap to those characters, use them in combat, level them up, and use them alternatively to complete a lot of the levels in Deathbound. Now, I played the early 2-hour demo thanks to Ironforge Studios, and let me tell you, I was pretty actually surprised by, even though the game being in such early access and an early stage of its development, the game actually performs very well, and the combat and stuff itself is actually fairly entertaining as well as challenging. With the ability to swap between characters, it introduces a unique gameplay loop and gameplay style to a Souls-like game that I have actually yet to see from a lot of other games. Throughout the game, you will again pick up essences of characters, unlocking them with the ability to use them and level up their skills and abilities, and then find your way throughout the map of Deathbound. The game is filled with pretty interesting story in general, which is honestly very engaging to follow. Again, the game is very difficult. I played it for roughly around 2 to 3 hours, made it to the very end of the demo, and the boss fights as well as the regular fights that consist in the game. Now, the gearing system is again a little bit in its earlier stage, as you can see here, but you're allowed to equip rings, all kinds of jewelry, and all kinds of armor and things like that, so that way you can then upgrade them using different talent points, upgrade different skills and essence talents for your essence, which is the characters essentially that you unlock. And Deathbound gives you the ability to specialize each skill into each character kind of as you want to play them. Currently, there are a decent amount of enemy types in the game, and I fully expect that they add many more as development continues. Again, this is a very early access type of demo where it's giving us a peek into kind of what Deathbound offers, which is a surprisingly unique gameplay loop. Now, like other Souls-like games, you do have the ability to level up your character normally, but you do carry your XP with you and lose it upon death, meaning once you die, and I'm telling you, you will die over and over and over again, because even early access, this game is extremely difficult. You can then go gather up your XP, and once you make it to a checkpoint, you can then essentially log into your essence and then upgrade your characters based on however much XP you still have left. There are a decent amount of unique enemy types that I did encounter while just playing the demo, such as this tall green tree looking character that can basically just attack you and destroy you from a mile away, making it so that way you need to use the dodge mechanic very effectively to dodge his attacks, and stamina does play a very big role in this game as well. One of the unique things about the character attributes in this game is your health and stamina are essentially interconnected, meaning if your health goes down, your maximum stamina reduces to your maximum health level as well. So the more damage you take, the less stamina you have, equaling basically the more damage you take again, making the game again very hard in general, which is why you take the best advantage as you can from swapping between characters. When you're swapping between characters and doing damage with the character, you essentially heal the other characters in your essence menu, giving you a little bit more reprieve, as well as making it a lot more punishing when you get hit or you don't successfully dodge attacks. And it honestly adds to the difficulty of the game and makes it very good. Again, this is super early access, but I expect this to be a very good game in the future once it's fully developed. This is definitely one to keep your eye on.